Welcome to Media Maniaxe. I'm Russell Courier.
I am Jamie Hughes.
And we review everything, and we're
just crazy enough to do it. Do you ever notice, like, when people can't play the guitar and somebody else is, they're always like, da da da. That's what I was doing while you were doing it.
Yeah, you're doing a little air guitar?
I guess. I mean, I have no idea what to do, and I'm just sitting there. That was cool.
All right.
Well, happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry
all that
Christmas,
kind of stuff.
Happy holidays. Yep.
So guess what? This leads into our first topic.
Yes.
What's our first topic?
Top 5 Christmas shows.
Top 5 Christmas shows or movies.
Or movies, or anything Christmas related that you watch on TV.
Oh, yes.
That's about
now,
the best way.
Do you do that every year? Like, do you ever, like, just pick a movie? Like, and I don't mean the one that you go out to the theater to. Like, I pick a movie and just watch that, like, make a special night of it, and, you know, to kick your Christmas off?
Well, I kind of did with one of the movies on my list. I did watch it just recently, and it lifts my spirits for Christmas, obviously, but it's like, I don't set out a certain date. I'm just like, if I'm in the mood for it, I'm like,
I've been caught every year, and if you notice this, you go back, and I mean, I don't have his movies on my list, but Vince Vaughn has been in a Christmas movie almost every year for the last 5 or 6 years, and it's always a different one. Like, he was in the one with where he played the brother of Santa Claus.
Oh, Fred Claus.
Fred Claus.
And then he did 4 Christmases with Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon, and even like a lot of cameos in there with Tim McGraw and all that. And then there was even another one. But he makes a lot of Christmas films, and we were watching those. But anyways, those aren't even on my list.
Okay. But yeah, that's one thing cool to bring up. I never really thought of that with Vince Vaughn. Usually you think of him in like comedy movies like Wedding Crashers or
yeah.
So what's your number 5 top Christmas show? Okay,
number 5, classic one's probably been made 4 or 5 different times. In fact, we even I think showed here at OCTV an older version that we have the rights to show. Is the original one is with Natalie Wood, Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh yeah, I still actually have not seen it. I have the original.
You've never seen Miracle on 34th Street?
No, but I do have the tape at home.
Too young. He doesn't want.
I'm 23.
You need to watch it.
I will. I think I have a feeling
that's quintessential almost.
I have a feeling I'll watch this movie really soon. I do have it on VHS. I just never got around to watching it. But I have a few.
I mean, the original version that everybody's probably most familiar with, the one that was colorized, and everybody is a young Natalie Wood, and I'm trying to remember. I think I could be wrong in this, but I think it was Sebastian Cabot who played Santa Claus in that film. I could be wrong in the Santa Claus part.
All right.
But
I just remember the remake with the girl from Matilda and all that. I remember watching bits of that one, but I never watched it.
They made it a few different times.
Yeah. I have seen that. My number 5 on my list is kind of a horror movie. It's my only horror movie because it's a Santa
Christmas.
It's called Santa Slay. Spelled S-L-A-Y.
I've heard of this, but I've never seen it.
Wrestler Bill Goldberg plays Santa Claus.
Really?
And there's this weird backstory to it where it's like Santa is actually the son of the devil, and he was lost a bet with an angel, and he had to turn his birthday, which was the same birthday.
Oh, right, okay.
Into a day of joy instead of a day of slaying.
Oh, okay.
But the 100 years are up, and now
Santa Slay is called.
Santa Slay.
I'm gonna watch it. I mean,
it's a good movie. It's funny, and it was like a straight-to-TV movie. First time I watched it was years ago on network, and it was really funny and a good movie. And I have it on DVD. It's one I watch every year. But that's the only horror movie on here. The rest are classics.
Oh, okay.
So what's your number 4?
My number 4 actually comes back to Michigan a little bit. We were talking about him in our last episode as being one of the actors around here, Tim Allen.
Oh.
In Santa Claus.
I didn't think of Santa
And
Claus.
it was like how it answered a lot of questions, how Santa Claus gets tapped on the shoulder and it just passes itself on. Because, as a young kid, I even go back, you sit there and you're like, hey, how does Santa Claus, and it was kind of like
go down the chimney and then you have the bag and
exactly.
Go down.
It was like a lot of
that was really cool. That was a really cool movie.
And Tim Allen did a good job with it.
Yeah, he really, very much so. Yeah.
Before I jump off on this, because I don't want to end on the segment we're talking about Santa Claus. Have you seen David Letterman lately? He's in retirement. he grew a Santa Claus beard. I don't know whether he's planning on playing Santa Claus for the holidays or whatever.
Really?
But they just put it out on one of the TV shows the other day, and I'm not lying. I never thought David Letterman could look like Santa Claus. He looks like Santa Claus.
Really? I'm going to have to look that up
His beard is just full grown in. Okay, so what's your number 4?
My number 4, Ernest Saves Christmas.
I remember seeing it, and I think it was funny.
It's one I watch every year. I have it on DVD. I just watched it just 2 days ago. And it does lift my spirits. You know, of course, I grew up watching the Ernest movies and all that. And the storyline of how Santa passes the torch, kind of like what you're saying with Santa Claus.
I think a lot of these happen like that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's more of like, you know, it's the same type of thing. And the person who plays the original Santa Claus in the movie, this little old guy, I can't remember his name, I just looked it up recently, but he just does a great job with acting. He's also the voice of the Sultan in Aladdin, and I'm like, he looks like him in the movie.
No, the Sultan, yeah. That's Jeremy Irons, isn't it?
No, it's not Jeremy. No, Jeremy Irons played the voice of Jafar, maybe? I know he did a voice of something Disney.
You know what? I know it'll show up here. It
will probably show up right here, right in front of us. Anyway, but there's something about the person who plays Santa Claus, how he portrays himself as that, how he's just this kind-hearted little old man.
Right.
And everyone thinks he's crazy because he says, my name is Santa Claus. And they're just like, okay, put him in the loony bin.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, everybody, when you make the Santa Claus claim, I mean, you're definitely probably going to need some go somewhere, right?
But anyway, it's just one of those movies I just really enjoy every year, and it lifts my spirits.
Number 3?
Yeah, 3.
Enjoy it every time I see it. Will Ferrell, Elf.
I remember watching that. It's a good movie.
That is so cool.
It is a good movie. You know, even when we talked about Will Ferrell recently because of the SNL stuff, I do enjoy his stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of Will Ferrell.
Do you like Elf?
I do like Elf, even though I haven't seen it.
I mean, you can see it once a year is fine, okay? No more. Well, I mean, usually we only watch Christmas music.
Well, movies, once a year, usually. So my number 3, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Good. I would have to say good. I have to definitely say good.
I love how the whole thing of the hecticness when it comes to the families getting together on Christmas, for one, that's as well as, like, there's moments in there I just can't stop laughing at, like in the movie where Chevy Chase gets locked up in the attic and everyone else leaves and he's trying to hold himself cold, from freezing and all that. And then his wife
tries to light the place up, Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's another one that's not even on my list that I think about now that you're talking about lighting, that has Danny DeVito, called Deck the Halls.
Yeah, Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick.
Oh my God! And
I haven't seen that movie though.
And Danny DeVito wants to buy so many lights that they can see his house in space.
Yeah, I remember seeing a bit
without
of that.
having a spoiler here. That's a good highlight. Not on my list at all.
Okay, but yeah, that's a good one to bring up right now. All right. What's your number 2?
My number 2 actually had Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I always just thought it was kind of funny. It was like, it's called Jingle All the Way.
I've seen it.
And he is trying to find this toy that's the popular toy. Like
Turbo
a lot of parents try to do it. You got to get that toy.
Last minute shopping,
right? And the comedy pairing of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad. I mean, it's just some funny stuff. I mean, and of course it's Christmas Eve, and if you think about it, I mean, is it all about the toy or is it about the family? And but
it leaves you kind of questioning yourself about that with your, what really Christmas is about, and it does have a good message to the movie.
Your number deuce?
My number deuce is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Classic Rankin Bass.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you like that one, yeah.
Yeah, I like the old Rankin Bass.
You like remember the whole series and stuff? Did you like the Rudolph one?
Yeah, I did like Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer, and
with those series, they always seem to get, like, back in the day, they always used to get like #1 singers. Like they had Bing Crosby, and they even had and I mean just a bunch.
Also, really good actors in the voice. Like Mickey Rooney played the voice of Santa Claus in that movie.
Right.
So that was one thing.
Remember.
Pretty much.
We better jump on. I think we gotta. These segments go so fast.
Yes, they do. So what's your number 1?
My number 1, I have a tie. Okay, for number 1, and I was thinking maybe you had your number 1 would be there. My number 1 is the classic Christmas Story. Where the young kid's looking, he wants to get the BB gun, the Red Ryder BB gun. Best scene there is like, put your eye out, kid, and he
kicks him down the slide. Yeah.
Now my tied with Home Alone.
Oh yeah, Home Alone.
The first Home Alone. I mean, I love the first one. Okay.
Yeah, that I didn't put that on my list. There's actually a really old cartoon on my number one,
Yeah.
and I didn't think of those ones.
Yeah,
but
well,
those are
Home
ones I
Alone,
watched.
I mean, Joe Pesci and I can't think of the other guys.
Give me 1 second. I think I can remember it real quick. Something Stern.
I can't. But I tell you, those two and the young.
Young Macaulay Culkin.
Unbelievable. Home Alone but
movie.
either one, either
Great
Home Alone or
comedy
Christmas Story.
movie. And also,
Your number one, and
my
we gotta
number
go.
one, real quick. It was actually a Fleischer Cartoons. Christmas Comes But Once a Year. I had this old VHS my parents had recorded over the years. Of all these old, like classic, like 1930s style cartoons, and this one, it just really just tugs at my heartstrings. It was all these the stories like all these orphan kids get these toys that are donated,
so many,
and it's just they all get destroyed.
There's so many Christmas movies, and I mean, and I should even mention this one. I mean, there's a whole series of Scrooges, and I tell you, unbelievable. I mean, and I have my favorite with the older one, like the musical one, but even George C. Scott played Ebenezer Scrooge in one of them, and
Patrick Stewart from Next Generation,
exactly,
or the Muppets version with Michael Caine as Scrooge.
Exactly. So I mean, there's all these Scrooge ones that wouldn't even make the list, but I mean, these other ones are. Go out and get some movies, make it a movie night, pop some popcorn. We got to take a break, don't we?
Yes, we do. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away. Hi, everyone. Don't forget you can purchase DVDs of your favorite shows from OCTV, whether it's Minutes by Minute, our Community Access, or Connie's Kitchen. Just call the station. Our number is 248-628-9658. And enjoy watching all of our shows on OCTV. Welcome back to Media Maniaxe. We review everything, and we're
just crazy enough to do it.
Yes, and we're just crazy enough to talk about remakes in movies.
Oh.
So, well, what we're going to be talking about, I just had this idea of, like, which is better, the old or the new? Which usually, it's not really a heads or tails with that, really. It's not as black and white. There's a bit of gray area with it. And so there's been a lot of movies over the years that have been remade, some of my favorites, some not so much. But ones I have a bit of horror movies on here. Like one I have on here was Psycho, actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
it seemed like it'd be hard to top that one.
Yeah, with the original, how they did. Now, of course, Alfred Hitchcock. You can't go wrong with that.
Right.
But then, actually, we were talking about Vince Vaughn in the last one. The remake of Psycho had Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates.
Seriously, I never saw it.
It was Vince Vaughn, Anne Heche. I can't remember anyone else in that movie really. But it didn't really do this like a justice to the original.
Okay.
Because it was pretty much, it just had the same movie over again with the same film shot, same shot, same thing. So it's pretty much you're watching the same thing over again. When it comes to remakes, in my mind, when you make a remake, you should keep deep roots in the original, but without making the same movie over again. So add a little bit of new stuff to it, as well as keep it close to the source material.
Yep.
And some movies do that really well. Some kind of forget the roots in the original and kind of like one at the top of my list, Total Recall. You ever seen that one?
I saw both of them, and honestly, I have to say, at the time, I enjoyed the Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, I'm like, wow. I mean, back when it came out first, it was very technically, it was all technical. And then when they made the other one, I'm like, I actually went there going, well, they can't top that, and they actually did.
I
like the newer one.
The newer one, I have nothing really wrong with it besides one little factor. They don't play the whole, is he a secret agent or is it just a memory implant still thing in his head?
Yeah, who's the actor again?
It was Colin Farrell.
I think he's phenomenal. He's a good,
yes.
I mean, what was the film? I mean, I know this is away from that topic, but Colin Farrell, what was the movie where, didn't he just answer a phone or something and he had to stay on the phone?
Yeah.
Oh my, that's when I became a fan of his.
First time I saw him in a movie, I think it was in the Daredevil movie as him as Bullseye.
Okay, but he
is a good actor.
Great version.
And he's in another movie on my list too.
Go ahead.
And the movie Fright Night. The remake of Fright Night, which, the original movie, of course, you got like that with how there's the, kid, freaked out about the guy next door and then coming across the, the vampire hunter guy, where they do in the remake of that with, instead of the guy who played Humperdinck and Princess Bride as a vampire, it was Colin Farrell playing the vampire in the movie. Even though, one thing I thought was cool in that movie, they had the original actor come and make a cameo in the new movie. When they do that with remakes, I absolutely love it, because they have a love for the original and they like to reference it.
Yeah.
So, and with the remake of it, it's kind of more, instead of, say, just a vampire guy on like a movie horror show, show.
Okay.
It's like more of a Chris Angel guy character.
Okay, understand.
And he's just, it's all just a show. And it's played by David Tennant, who was the 10th Doctor. I'm a Doctor Who fan.
Doctor Who, of course.
So, and it's just bringing it into the 21st century. Just doing that with a remake, just what would this look like in this time kind of thing. That's
Okay.
what I like.
Okay.
That's like kind of a cool idea to do when it comes to remakes, like with a couple others on my list too. So, what's on my...
I didn't have a lot in the remake, the remakes. I had a few. I mean, I had Red Dawn.
Yeah, Red Dawn. I actually haven't seen the remake of it, but
I
the
thought
original...
I saw both, and I maybe it was just due to the tech part of it all. I enjoyed the remake better than I did the original. Again, the original was really good too. Had a lot of the Chicago actors that we had talked about the one time, like the John Hughes Forum people involved in that.
Yep.
With Leah Thompson and Patrick Swayze and all those guys.
C. Thomas Howell.
Exactly. There were a lot of stars that went on from that, but even the remake, I thought they did it justice as well.
Yeah, with Chris Hemsworth and Josh Peck. I know the actors in the movie, and I remember when that was being filmed when I was in high school, actually.
Okay, yeah.
And my video media teacher in high school was, lived in Pontiac, and he saw all the, the Chinese or whatever communist flags all down in Pontiac.
Okay, right.
So I forgot about the movie after high school and all that. But that, and other movies on my list, though, like one, Death Race. The Death Race movies. There's Death Race 2000, and then Death Race.
Haven't seen any of them.
You haven't?
I will.
The original one with David Carradine was such a good. It was such a good one. David Carradine, Sylvester Stallone.
Oh.
So it was kind of a 70s movie. It was more like a futuristic world where the world's kind of not crumble, but like taken over by like a communist leader or something like that. And this is people are doing a race across the world, across the U.S., killing people on the way there and all this stuff. Whereas in the sequel to Death Race, they have it in a prison, and it's like if you win so many races, you'll be set free.
Oh. Okay.
So they change it, but they still have the roots and with the same character names
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you about this with the remake. I'm not sure this is going to be considered a remake, other than maybe a continuation of the series. Okay, I mean, we can make that argument with Back to the Future and all that, and the whole Rocky series, which was way okay. Do you consider Creed a remake of Rocky, or is that just continued in the series?
I think it's continued in the series because you have Rocky Balboa in the movie.
Okay.
I had a chance to go see Creed.
I never thought they could do the like when I seen this come up on the thing, like the new movie Creed's coming out. I'm like, oh wow!
And it's the son of Apollo Creed. I thought that was really cool.
No, it is. But now like Rocky's about as old as Mick. It's like,
and he's wearing the hat too. So
you can't do it, kid.
So that looked like it would be a good movie. It would take stuff from the original.
Okay.
But
I know it's not a remake, but it
has remake tendencies.
Yeah.
So that's a good one to bring up. So yeah. Other ones I had on my list, like The Karate Kid. They had the remake with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. Oh,
I never saw it. That's a great one.
But here's the thing, I have a little beef with this movie. The kid doesn't learn karate in the remake version. No. It's Kung Fu. Okay. So why didn't they call it the Kung Fu Kid?
Well, because they had to keep it with the Karate Kid, obviously,
it wasn't,
and the tie-in with Ralph Macchio. And
but here's the thing: it wasn't Daniel or Mr. Miyagi. It was different names, different characters. So that's how they took the remake thing. But even though I know they're trying to, they had connected with Karate Kid and all.
Well, I mean, going back to our first segment. Okay, going back to our first segment with the Christmas stuff. And we did mention that my last one was like Home Alone, right? Mm-hmm. There was a Home Alone in there. Now, could you consider that a remake? Because there was a whole bunch of different characters that had nothing to do with the original kid.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember that one? And honestly, I don't think it.
There was like Home Alone 3.
Yeah, I don't mean to go back to the Christmas reference, but
Mm-hmm. And I see what you're saying there. You have a point there. And also, we're getting our wrap-up time, but there's something about remakes I wanted to talk about with the production style of it, at least. When you have an original movie, like, say, The Thing or something like that, even though we haven't talked about, it had practical effects. Nice practical effects that looked real. Whereas even though there was a kind of even though that's a remake of The Thing from Another World, which was an old 50s horror movie, there was a prequel to it that was kind of signalized as a remake. same movie, The Thing. They added a lot of CGI to it, and it just took me out of the movie.
Okay.
So that's one thing with remakes. It's like you have the CGI aspect to it, but don't go heavy on the CGI, because you kind of take away from the movie.
Right, understandable.
So
we got to roll on this one, otherwise.
And then we'll be talking a little bit about CGI in our next segment.
What is it?
We're going to be talking about Star Wars.
Dun, 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 dun.
Whatever. We're going to
back in a minute.
Okay.
Welcome to Media Maniaxe. I'm Russell Crowe.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm Jamie Hughes.
And we review everything, and we're
just crazy enough to do it.
alright, by the power of movie magic.
All right, now we're going to be talking about our Star Wars discussion.
I wonder how that was a good lead-in.
I thought that was kind of cool too. You gave me the idea to get like a helmet or something, so there we go. That was it, and I thought that was really cool.
I am your father.
Oh, one of the most misquoted lines ever in the Star Wars franchise.
Did I just misquote it?
No, you quoted it right.
I did?
Yeah, because usually people say, "Luke, I am your father." It's I. It's no, I am your father.
Right.
So you got it.
Okay, you know, that's the big thing coming out. People have been waiting for this thing. There's pre-advanced tickets.
Friends of mine already have theirs.
I mean, talk about an event, and you knew it was going to be an event. And, you know, I started thinking about this. I mean, unbelievable. Have you ever heard where you can buy tickets in advance, a month in advance for a film?
I've heard of it a bit with like some big movies,
right? But this one
I never had to go through that trouble though. But with this being such a big movie, yeah.
I mean, talk about media blitz. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel, the whole night on one of his shows, the whole night was dedicated to the Star Wars.
Okay, I think I might know which one you're talking about.
And it was awesome. It was a great. I mean, Harrison Ford made the cameo. Chewie was there, and
really?
They had everybody. I mean, and they had the new cast, the ones they're passing the baton on to, I guess.
Oh yeah.
There was a little. If you caught, I mean, I don't want to keep referencing Jimmy Kimmel, but if you caught that episode, something was going on with Carrie Fisher. I don't know. She was like, it's like she was sitting 5 different ways on the chair, and I'm like sitting there going, no one's telling Carrie not to sit. Like, she was just sitting kind of funny. But
okay.
But I'm just saying, it's cool that it's coming out.
Yeah, Star Wars Episode 7. I'm excited to see that, even though I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan.
Right.
I do like Star Wars. I'm just not really big into it. I'm more of a DC comic fan. But
no, not you.
No, not me. Not whatsoever. No, anyway.
But I think it's going to be a pretty good showing. I didn't buy
I think they couldn't have picked a better director for that movie with J.J. Abrams.
Right.
With doing the Star Trek remake.
Okay.
Now going on to do the Star Wars movie sequel, I thought, and just how he did Star Trek, thinking, how is he going to do Star Wars? Which is he a better fan of?
Well, they did ask you. Well, Jimmy did ask him that question on the show the other night, and he said he found out that 2 different type of films, 2 different fan bases, and he said that though he feels, and he doesn't know yet, but they've had some private showings of Star Wars already. He thinks that the Star Wars people or the fans or whatever you want to call are going to be a little bit more critical than the Star Trekkies, I guess.
Oh.
And that's what he's like. He says, because of the series, and he said he was really kind of trepidatious about going into it, but realized he could do it, and I mean, he felt it was like an honor to have that passed on to him. And you think about this. I was driving to the studio today. This has gone on. I graduated in '78 from Oxford, okay?
Okay.
If you go, and I should have brought the yearbook, and I didn't bring the yearbook. In the yearbook, opening the yearbook up, Star Wars is written right in the 1978 yearbook.
I think I've seen that yearbook.
It's a gold yearbook.
Yeah, because my dad's landlord went to Oxford. He graduated in '80, and I think he had the same yearbook.
Well, exactly. It had Star Wars now. We're talking '78 to all the way now. Unbelievable. I mean, there's been years in between the other ones and stuff, but I went out and got all these VHS tapes that I don't even have a VHS player. I keep telling you I don't have one.
Yeah, and you could probably pick one up real
I think
easy,
I might. After I've seen all this, I may start watching these,
So when it comes to Star Wars, we're just doing a Star Wars discussion here. We're just going back and forth about it. Out of I know it's hard to ask this question. Which one is your favorite out of all of them?
Okay, I'm talking to one from '78, Star Wars. That was like pivotal for us. I mean, we enjoyed that one.
The original.
Right, and then, you know, got to the next one, which was, I guess, The Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi. Now, I don't recall many franchises doing this, and then they started to do this after Star Wars did, doing the prequel, going back and telling the backstory before. And, you know, originally when that came out, I'm like, how can you do that? You're going to ruin it. But then it actually made a lot of sense.
But, you know, I kind of have a little kind of nitpick thing with the original trilogy.
Okay.
But it's mainly because the CGI, for one.
Okay.
As we were talking about before. Whereas it was more practical effects, very little CGI in the original story, in the original movies.
Okay.
Whereas in the remakes, it was a little bit more CGI heavy, which is either good or bad in some cases. And that one, it was kind of not so good, especially like in...
You're saying the original?
Oh, no, I mean, episode 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, the ones that were actually newer. Okay.
Yeah, as when I say original...
I still think that taught a good story. I mean, showed a good story on the backstory.
It did.
How Darth Vader became Darth Vader.
Yeah, and episode 3 is the best one out of the whole the prequels in my mind. But in some of it, though, it just seemed a little lacking a little bit, maybe, in, like, say, Phantom Menace, just because a lot of people kind of didn't much care for that one, for one. But it did start the whole thing off again with...
How it began. There is something that we are running on our channel here on the overnights, and I think we're going to do a marathon of it. A fan base, and we're talking, this was made in the 90s, and we were able to, you know, get a snag on this one. It's called Revelations. It's only a 48-minute movie, and it's by Painstruck. We're talking a super fan base that they kind of tell a story with the Star Wars. And I don't even know what part it's in, but it's unbelievable that these fans got approval from George Lucas. He gave the underwriting that as long as they made no money on it, it can be shown publicly. We have it. We do show it occasionally at night. We're probably going to show it more this month anyway. But it's a 48-minute film, and you wouldn't think that you'd get much out of 48. These fans really put a lot into it. I urge you to stay tuned on the weekends, because it'll probably be coming up right after our show here tonight.
Oh, okay.
And those were made by, I don't know if you would call them fans or just serious actors and fans, but it's a pretty good film.
Okay, I'll have to check that out now.
Painstruck, and it's on the internet, and it's called Revelations.
All right.
And I think it takes place in between the prequel and Star Wars. That's what I'm getting on it. There's like a 48-minute movie. Yeah, check it out.
I'll have to look that up. One thing I was just going to say, actually, I can't remember what I was going to say now. It just slipped out of my head. Oh, no, I remember. With the Star Wars things, it was funny. We were talking about our top 5 Christmas shows in the first segment. Did you know that there was a holiday special for Star Wars?
I didn't know that.
Back years ago, I think it was after Empire. I think it was after Empire.
Yeah.
It was like Chewie and his family
had a Christmas special.
It wasn't a Christmas special. It was a holiday. It was like a Wookiee holiday thing on their planet. But here's the thing. It was so unpopular because it just, you know, you had the cameos like Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill. But it didn't really seem like Star Wars. It didn't seem right. And it was mainly around Chewie, his wife, and his kid, which you've never heard anything of in any of the movies, really.
Okay.
It was just something thrown in there. And I think it was something about how George Lucas kind of apologized for the movie.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe, I don't know, I may be wrong on that, but...
like I said, I think that he's pretty guarded with this, and I mean, even go back to the one, but yeah, that's what even sounded. I want to watch it now because I don't think it sounds entertaining.
Oh, yeah, actually, it's like one of those things where it's not so good that you want to watch it. It's so bad, it's good.
Before we get out of here, I got to say that if you go into any of the stores now, I mean, if a kid doesn't see Star Wars in 5 feet, there's displays everywhere.
I was just Christmas shopping yesterday.
Okay, and they have these like 4 or 5 foot like Darth Vaders, and I think the clerks are getting tired of people like me walking up going, and I'm pushing the button, and I seen the young guy look up at me going, really? You had to do it, huh?
There was also, I saw, in the new movie, Kylo Ren, who is the Sith Lord with the cross-hilt saber. I saw him and a 5-foot figure like that. Yeah. It's just all Star Wars. Kids are going nuts with it now.
We are getting the wrap on this.
Yes, we are.
It's so you got to go out, see Star Wars, get some Christmas films, maybe do a remake or two of yourself.
Yes.
And we are?
We are Media Maniacs, and we review everything.
We are just crazy enough to do it. Have yourself a great holiday season. Thanks for walking in on us.
All right. See you next time.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the village of Leonard.